beautiful, gorgeous, sexy people on the internet. I don't know what to say. So I don't know if you can tell by my voice or by the title, but I have fallen ill. I have gotten the well-renowned thing that we are all knowledgeable about, but YouTube doesn't like if you say. I got it from work. I work in an office setting and we work very closely amongst departments, and one person in a department got it and it spread to another person in that department and it spread to another person in that department, and I think I got it from that person and someone else in my department has it. So all that to say, stay safe, take care of yourself. If you are somebody who could potentially be at risk, it's a thing, and it happened very quickly and rather unexpected within my office. I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where I am in good health. The worst of it is right now I'm having some minor difficulty breathing. I get out of breath really quick, so editing Shelby will have a great time going and editing all of that out. Another downside to this is that I had videos planned to like do like a sit down fun video this week, and I was gonna film that yesterday, which is when I really started to feel like and got my positive. So obviously I don't want to film a sit down video and feel like I feel right now, and so I decided that I'm going to make the most of this opportunity in which I am ill but not in poor health, and I am able to do some things and keep my spirits up. And how I'm going to do that is through reading. My family is out of town. I got it after they had already left, so they are safe. My grandparents are safe, and by the time they will be returning, I will be clear. So like I feel very fortunate to be in the situation that I am. And so with that, I'm going to read. This is not going to be a vlog in which I look cute or presentable. I'm wearing my blanket hoodie right now. My hair, it's been brushed, but like that's pretty much it. I'm not going to be putting forth like, you know, let me fix my hair before I film a clip. Like, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna take it for what it is. And so if that is not the kind of video that you're, you know, wanting to watch, I'll have some stuff coming out later for you. I promise. As soon as I kick this, and as soon as I'm back to 100%, you'll get some stuff. So if you're gonna stick around and hang out with me, I am currently in the middle of a very little meet cute. I am like a third of the way through this probably. This follows our main characters, B, and I can't remember the male main character's name, and they are working on like a Hallmark Christmas movie, but she's actually like an adult film star. I didn't know that going in. I knew nothing going in, so I was like, whoa. And I've seen a lot of people DNF this because it's like way more spicy than the cover lets on. I need to like read the synopsis and see if it mentions that, because like if the synopsis mentions that, then that's what you can go in expecting. But I obviously didn't expect it, but it's not like bad. Like it's just, hold on, I have to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Oh, I might have another one. Okay, I think I'm okay. So obviously I didn't know this going into it, but that's not a fault in the book for me. But if that is a fault in the book for some people, that's why they're DNFing it, I guess. I've seen in a lot of like live chats that I've been in, they're like, I'm DNFing this, I can't deal with it, I hate it. It is what it is. I mean, it makes sense with the plot and the characters. Like, I don't know. So that's what I'm reading right now. So let's get started. Look at my hair, it's a mess. It's a right mess. Oh, but I am so comfortable. Look at this, look right. No, but my hair. Anyways, let's go do some reading. I promise I'm gonna try not to apologize for my appearance in every clip. It's not much later, and I figured I would go ahead and like read you the synopsis of a very little meet cute, just from Goodreads. So I have it pulled open here. It does have a 3.54 average rating, so like not bad. Typically, like if it's a 4 or above, it's a really good rating for Goodreads. Yeah, okay, so it does mention the fact that she's an adult film star. Pitched as a steamy plus-size holiday rom-com about an adult film star who is semi-accidentally cast as a lead in a family-friendly Christmas movie, and the former bad boy pop star she falls in love with. B. Hobbs, aka Bianca Von Honey, has a successful career as a plus-size adult film star. With a huge following and 2 supportive moms, B couldn't ask for more. But when B's favorite producer, I think he's an adult film producer, cast her to star in a Christmas movie he's making for the squeaky clean Hope Channel, Hallmark, B's career is about to take a more family-friendly direction. Forced to keep her work as Bianca under wraps, B quickly learns that this task is a lot easier said than done. It would all become becomes worthwhile when she discovers co-star is none other than childhood crush Nolan Shaw, an ex-boy band member in desperate need of career rehab. Nolan's promised his bulldog manager to keep it I'm sorry, I thought of like an actual bulldog. To keep it zipped up on set, and if he will, it means he'll be able to provide a more stable living situation for his sister and mom. But things heat up quickly in Christmas Notch, Vermont, when Nolan recognizes his new co-star from her closed doors, aka OnlyFans, account. Now Bea and Nolan are sneaking off for quickies on set, keeping their new relationship a secret from the Hope Channel exec. Things only get trickier when the reporter who torpedoed Nolan's singing career comes snooping around and takes an instant interest in mysterious newcomer Bea. And if Bea and Nolan can't keep their off-camera romance behind the scenes, then this merry little meet cute might end up on the cutting room floor. So there's the synopsis for that. So, you know, based on the cover, maybe people are expecting a more like cutesy, Christmassy rom-com. Based on the synopsis, I think it's pretty clear that there's going to be a good bit of spice. So it depends on kind of what you're looking for. Do with that what you will. I will keep you posted on my opinions, obviously. Oh wow, I'm further than I thought. I'm 43% of the way into the audiobook. This is a very interesting book to consume on audio because of the quantity of smut in it, and the intensity of said subject. So I'm gonna keep reading. Yeah, I'm doing reading sprints with Olivia Reads a Latte and Mel Reads. Sometimes they do sprints together. I am a member of Olivia's Patreons. She's doing Sprintmas, so every day she's doing sprints, and I'm gonna hang out with them and read a little bit. We'll probably chat for like an hour and then we'll get some reading done, but my goal is to maybe have this book done by tomorrow so I can hopefully pick up some graphic novels or some other full-length novels, something like that. We'll keep on trucking. So the reading sprints are over. It's 10:30 and I'm 91% of the way through a very little meet cute. I have like an hour left of the audiobook, which is less than 30 minutes of actual listening time. I think I'm gonna draw a bath because like my muscles are really sore. I just need to relax, and my sinuses, like you can hear the congestion. I'm gonna go take a bath to clear them out and help me breathe normally, and then I'll come back to you with a finished book review. It's now, whoa. I didn't realize how bad my voice still sounded. It's now 11:15. I'm out of the bath. I feel a lot better. I don't sound a lot better, but I feel a lot better. That helped like relax me a bit. And I finished, I don't know why I touch my face so much when I'm filming. I don't know what it is. As soon as this camera comes on, I'm like, anyways, I finished the book while I was in the bath. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. The characters had good chemistry, like it felt authentic. The third act breakup wasn't miserable, but I just like wasn't overwhelmed. There's nothing like stand out bad or good for this one for me. If you like a book that's more towards the spicy side, maybe if you liked The Roommate by Rosie Danan, this might be your cup of tea. It was fine for me. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I don't have anything like overwhelmingly positive to say about, which makes it sound like it was bad, but it wasn't. I don't feel any type of way about it, I guess is a good way to phrase it. I do want to read some Christmassy books. I'm trying to like make sure I don't have any out from the library right now as I talk to you. I can borrow some from not Libby, Hoopla, which is my other library app. I have some things favorited, so let's go through those. So I do have 2 ebooks that I can borrow. I have Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist, which is the first book, and then I have the second book, There's Something About Mary. But in terms of audiobook, which is like what I feel more inclined toward, the ones I have that are like Christmassy, December-y, holiday-ish are We Met in December by Rosie Curtis and You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. I'm more inclined towards You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. That audiobook is 10.5 hours long, so I might start that one tonight. And then tomorrow morning, or tomorrow at some point I guess, I'm gonna go upstairs to my bookshelves. I have a Christmas cozy mystery like novella bind up. It's like 3 different novellas by different authors. I don't think it's necessarily an anthology, but 3 little novellas. And then I also have my arc of Heartstopper up there because I really want to reread Heartstopper because I got some graphic novels from the library. And one of them is the 2nd volume of that, but I need to reread the 1st volume to like make sure I'm clear on what's going on. So those are some books that I'll go pick up from upstairs. But tonight I might start You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. I might just sit here and watch Kayla's romance video. I am going to keep chugging some water. Stay hydrated, friends, especially if you're not feeling great. But even if you are feeling perfect, stay hydrated. And I'm just trying not to fall asleep yet, even though I'm totally going to. Howdy friends, it's now Saturday. I'm feeling a bit better than I was yesterday. My energy is still low, but like my morale is up. You know, less congestion, less miserable, more so just exhausted. So because of that, I've been laying in bed all day listening to the audiobook of You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. I'm about 30 to 40% of the way through it right now. And I figured I'd give you a little synopsis once I catch my breath a little bit. I decided to bring my lounging out to the living room because I've been in bed all day. So I figured I'd sit by our little Christmas tree. I'll show you a clip of that here in a sec, but I figured I'd use it for the lighting first. And just sit out here and drink some water, read, listen to the audiobook, relax, do all the things a sick person is supposed to do. So You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince is obviously titled after You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. This follows our main character, Matthew Prince, who hates Christmas. He is a millionaire. His parents are rich and probably, I don't know, maybe even more than a millionaire. Would I say he's a billionaire? I don't know. He's rich and he lives in New York with his parents who are obviously well off and decides to purchase an island. This did not go over well with his family. So as a punishment for his personal and financial decisions, his parents sent him to his grandparents' house. He has to stay there through Christmas and he can return to New York on New Year's. As soon as he gets there, he's determined to immediately go back to New York. He's like, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. His parents take away all of his money, you know, a lot of his access to the lavish lifestyle he's used to, and he's kind of secluded in this small town with his grandparents. When he gets to his grandparents' house, he finds that his lodging situations are not exactly up to his standards. He's staying in a bunk bed, and in the other bed of the bunk bed is a guy named Hector who is staying there. I don't remember the relation, like I don't remember why Hector is there. Matthew is obviously not thrilled with his situation. He's kind of brooding and dealing with all this stuff, and then somehow we get to the point of he decides that he's going to help with the town's fundraiser for small businesses. And so he's going around and working with Hector on this. And this is where we're going to start to see their relationship kind of grow. It is definitely grumpy sunshine. And it's really fun to see Matthew be the super grumpy one in this situation because he's so rich. And like the way it's narrated, I believe it's narrated from a first person's perspective. If not, it's third person, but you get Matthew's perspective of everything basically. And it's fun to kind of see and understand his problems in a sense because they're so like out there and lavish and just not something that I would ever, you know, see as a problem. He dresses in full designer clothes every day. And it's just really funny to be put in the mindset of a character who's completely different than yourself in the sense that he is absolutely so rich. His problems to me, I'm like, what the hell, like get over it. When you're like reading this character, you can kind of be like, oh yeah, I see why that is annoying to him because he's used to X, Y, and Z. And so this thing that wouldn't annoy me, in fact, I would probably be thrilled with, is like super inconvenient to him because it's not the lifestyle he's used to. So I'm enjoying it. If you are the type of person who has to directly relate to the character in some way, maybe this one's not for you unless you're super rich. But for me, it's enjoyable because I'm able to sit there and be like, oh my God, like this would never be a problem for me in real life, but it makes sense that it's a problem for him because of his upbringing. It's so different and interesting and not something I expected. to like, but I am enjoying. It's not doing anything overwhelmingly great right now, but I can see how this relationship between Hector and Matthew is gonna grow, and I'm looking forward to that. So right now it's sitting at like a 4-star, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna keep reading and buy my Christmas tree and take it easy, and then we'll probably get into some other stuff. I want to finish this maybe tomorrow, but who knows? I said that about the book I was reading yesterday, and I finished it yesterday. So maybe I'll finish this one tonight. Let's get reading. Hello from my parents' massage chair that I just sat in for an hour. Remember like a couple clips ago where I was like, I'm probably gonna finish this tomorrow, but knowing me, I'm gonna finish it today. Well, I'm gonna finish it today. I only have 48 minutes left of the audiobook. That's like my actual listening time, so I have like 2 hours left. I'm listening at 2.5 speed. I'm enjoying it. It's still like a 4-star. We've reached the 3rd act miscommunication, and I'm just like, I'm kind of over having miscommunication as your 3rd act thing. Hold on, let me get up because I'm not very comfortable. Aw, Mr. Theo's laying on the bed. So I'm kind of over having a 3rd act miscommunication. I think Emily Henry did 3rd acts really well in like Happy Place, which is coming out in April, so no spoilers obviously, and Book Lovers, where it's not a miscommunication. I'll just put it that way so it doesn't spoil it for anyone. But I've seen some like really good 3rd act things, and like these characters are in their early 20s. They're not much younger than I am. There's a certain level of miscommunication that would make sense at this age. However, I find that in adult romances, having the miscommunication where one character just like storms out or flees a circumstance, and I know that's some people's like coping mechanism, but like a lot of the times I feel like it's more realistic to have a conversation about something that happens that causes a conflict, and I just find it like annoying and unrealistic to have the characters do something as dramatic as flee. And I know that's partially to make the romance in the book more dramatic and make everything more high stakes, but for me it lessens the book as a whole. So like, whereas this could have potentially been a 4.5 star, I think we're gonna settle on a 4, but I still have 2 hours left of the audiobook, so I'll finish it tonight. And that's the end of this update from me. So I finished Your Mean One, Matthew Prince. I'm sticking with my rating of a 4-star. I'm just really not a big fan of a miscommunication, and I think that's the main reason that it's not getting a higher rating. I say that, it's still a 4-star. I still really enjoyed this book. I flew through it, and I remember going, oh my god, it's 10.5 hours, and like no time at all. It felt like it took me at least 4 hours. I really enjoyed the development of Matthew as our main character, like some of the stuff he deals with. He has a generalized anxiety disorder. His relationship with Hector was really fun to explore, and some of the small town feelings that are there. I would recommend this book to you if you really like a good family dynamic, in the sense of not one that's like super strong, but maybe a fractured family, and seeing that develop throughout the story and how that affects our main character, how that changes and transpires throughout the plot. If you like that, definitely if you like Grumpy Sunshine, he starts off very brooding and unhappy to be in this place. If you like queer books, we have a lot of queer characters in this. I would say if you like a small town vibe, but like if that's the one thing that stands out to you amongst all of the things I just listed, I would say the small town vibe is the least relevant, or there's like a word that I'm thinking of, but like the prevalent maybe in terms of this book. It does take place in a really small town. I believe it was in Massachusetts. I'd say like the small town wasn't the most important thing about the book. There's some that like the plot itself really, you know, hinders on the fact that it's a small town. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, for example, is one of those where like the small town plays a really big part in it. And to a certain extent, the small town does play a big part in this one because they're putting on a gala for small businesses in this small town, and it's like an annual event. You don't get much of like how the small town works, and the people in the small town you get a little bit of, but not so much. So that's, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I've got like brain fog. It's just like I can't think straight. So yeah, I'm gonna settle on a 4-star rating, and I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad I read it. And there's like 2 more books in this series. I'm confused as to like why it's a series, because I looked at the characters of both of the other books. One of them comes out in August of next year, and then one of them is already out. I didn't recognize any of the character names, so maybe it's along the same like premise, or they experience similar things, but maybe they're not directly related like we see in some, like the Bromance Book Club or whatever. Anyways, let's talk about my next reading plans. Is it just me, or does anyone else hate when you can't see out windows when it's dark out? It freaks me out. To talk about the next books, I've shifted my location. I'm in the kitchen because that's where some of the books I'm going to talk to you are about, and I wanted like a change in scenery. So I have a couple things. Number one is this Joanne Fluke Christmas Sweets. I think I called it a novella bind up. So we have 3 different stories. We have one by Joanne Fluke called The 12 Desserts of Christmas. We have one by Laura Levine called The Nightmare on Elf Street. They're all in the back, so that's what I'm reading. And then one called The Christmas Thief by Leslie Meyer. This is a cozy mystery, Christmassy thing. So obviously I want to get to this during the Christmassy season. But then I also have my copy of Heartstopper. This is an ARC I got at North Texas Teen Book Festival back in 2020. This was like March 2020. It was like the week before the world shut down. It was crazy. And I can't believe like I walked out of that event not getting the illness I have now. I would appreciate if you maybe wouldn't bump your feeder while I'm trying to film this clip. So I have this ARC. I read this on a vacation, I think back in March, like that we took right after I went to North Texas Teen Book Festival. That said, I have not read the 2nd or 3rd volume of this, and I want to, because I just got them from the library. We'll do a library haul here in a sec. But in order to do that, I really want to reread this. Also, on my 2022 bingo, there was a reread, and I was like, if I'm not going to finish any prompts, I don't reread books. So I'm probably not going to do my bingo. I might be able to do my bingo now. I'm gonna reread this in order to read the later volumes. Let's get into my library haul. So I'll start off with Heartstopper, since that's the one I just mentioned. So I have volume 2 here. It's big, like, look at the size difference, that's crazy. This is a hardcover too, which is so weird to see like a hardcover graphic novel. I don't know. I mean, I think most of the graphic novels I got are hardcover, so maybe just ignore me. And then here's the 3rd volume. This follows our characters Nick and Charlie. There's a TV show, I believe, based off the 1st book that came out on Netflix. I haven't seen it, so maybe I reread this and watch the Netflix show. Theo wants to get in on the vlog clip. He's coming up to sniff the camera. He's like right here. Hi. Hi, Bubs. Do I need to harass you so you go away? You're so handsome. Theo's just like messing with my camera right now, so if you hear any weird noises like him sniffing it or something, I do apologize. This first graphic novel, aside from obviously the 2 Heartstoppers, was recommended to me by Whitney. It's called Woman World, and apparently it's a graphic novel about a society in which men no longer exist. And she was like, you're gonna love it. And I was like, sounds good. Men don't exist, say less. Next up, I got Wash Day Diaries. This is one that I picked up off of the new shelf at my library, just based on the cover, but the synopsis sounds really interesting. It says, 5 interconnected short comics follow 4 friends, Kim, Nisha, Devine, and Cookie, through the ups and downs of their daily lives in the Bronx. From self-care to spilling the tea at an hours-long salon appointment to healing family rifts, each story uses hair routines as a window into who these young women are and how they care for each other. Cute! I'm excited about it. The art in it is adorable. Another reason I picked it up. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. And to be honest, I don't know what this next one is about, but it's Bloom. This is one that I was perusing the graphic novel shelves, knowing that I would want to complete my Goodreads challenge, and graphic novels are something I commonly use in December to help me achieve that goal. So this is the month of the year in which I try out all the graphic novels that I've been wanting to check out. And this is one that I recognized based on the cover. I really don't know anything about it, but if I recognize something based on the cover, it means it's popular enough, and I probably remember it because I saw something positive about it somewhere. So it looks like it's queer, maybe a little romance action, I don't know. This does look like a queer male, maybe romantic graphic novel. And to kind of go along with that, here's a little sapphic one. Another one recommended to me by Whitney, but because Bonnie liked it. She said Bonnie really liked it. And it looks really adorable. It's about 15-year-old Morgan. She's saved from drowning by a mysterious girl named Kelty. Suddenly life on the island doesn't feel so stifling anymore. She's not out in terms of her liking girls and her sexual identity and all of that. So this one looks super cute. If I choose to read this in this vlog, I'll give you better synopses of any of these if I choose to read them in this vlog. And then I did pick up 2 books. First off, The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I've seen amazing things about this one going around. And this was also on the new shelf next to Wash Day Diaries. So I think I like picked this one up and then I was like, oh, this cover looks cute, let me check it out. So The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Another one I don't really know anything about. It looked like it maybe had some hard-hitting stuff in it. I could be remembering something else. I'm probably not gonna read this in this vlog, so like, I don't even know why I'm telling you about it, but a little library haul, those are always fun. And lastly, I Have a Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. I just love this cover. It's very Renaissance, Baroque, Caravaggio-esque, right up my wheelhouse in terms of the cover art. I'm a graphic design girly. I love a good cover. So I think this story, The 12 Days of Christmas by Joanne Fluke, is cute. And I'm enjoying it to an extent. We have our main character, Julie, who is a teacher, and our other main character, Matt, who is also a teacher, and their kids stay at this boarding school, and so there's 6 kids, and they each have to, like, watch them. There's like 3 girls and 3 boys. So the way this story is structured, the 12 Desserts of Christmas, at the end of each chapter you have a little recipe, which I think is like super adorable. Super fun way to do this. I know Joanne Fluke's stories tend to like focus around desserts. I've noticed that with a lot of her books. I think that's like really cute, and I wonder if that's like a trend throughout her books. However, I don't like her writing. To start it all off, the chapters are very dialogue heavy. I don't mind that it's so dialogue heavy if the dialogue were better. The way it's written, the writing style, I just don't know that it's for me. Obviously Joanne Fluke is very successful. There's tons of books by this author, but it's just maybe not for me. Yeah, and also like the romance we have in here between Matt and Julie is very insta-lovey. She's like, we haven't even started dating because he hasn't really had time for it, and they've been on like a date or 2 and they've kissed, and she's like, I think he might be the one. I'm like, girl, do you know his middle name? Do you know his favorite color? Do you know his like dad's name? Like, come on. He's the one, and it's just a little insta-lovey, and sometimes I can get down with some insta-love. This is not one of those cases. Welcome to my kitchen. So this book is going delightfully quick. I think because a large portion of it is just the recipes. I'm not reading those because I don't need them. But I'm on page like 50. This story is about 114 pages, and I thought it would be fun if I baked some brownies to go along with the Christmas sweets. So my dishwashers are running, so I apologize for the noise in the background. I'm gonna make some brownies, just box brownies, nothing special. These are the ones I'm making. but I thought it would be fun to make a little sweet treat because I have been craving something sweet. What better time to do it than at a time when I'm reading a book about Christmas dessert? I mean, how perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do. Can I say something controversial? I want to DNF this first story so bad. I think the writing is like the worst. I'm having a miserable time. Every single chapter I'm like, okay, I just gotta get through to the next one. And then I gotta get through the next one. Like, it's making me just want to like DNF this whole thing. And the second story, the main character's name is Jamie Austen. So like, I don't know that I'll be able to tolerate that. So do I just DNF this whole thing? They can't all be winners. So there's another one for the donation piles. So now that that Christmas catastrophe is over, I have decided what my next read is going to be. I know I was talking about reading graphic novels, but I just remembered that I was planning on doing a holiday romance or holiday book, I guess, video later this year. And so I want to read a few more things for that. And I remembered that on my Kindle, I had actually purchased Frisky Connections by Michelle Mars. Let me see if I can get you the cover here. This is what it looks like. And it is a Hanukkah novella. And today is actually the first day of Hanukkah. The cover is illustrated by Lainey Kaufman. I will pretty much read anything Lainey Kaufman illustrates the cover for. It's 50 pages and it's the first day of Hanukkah, so like what a perfect read. And I definitely want to have more than just Christmas books in that video. I have like some with Jewish main characters and a few things like that, but I would love to have more of a Hanukkah centered one. So we're gonna pick this up. It's 50 pages. I should be able to finish it tonight. And then I can get into maybe some ones that I've borrowed from Kindle Unlimited. We'll talk about those once we get there. I'm gonna start reading this and then I'll let you know what it's about. And hopefully it's good. So I'm halfway into Frisky Connections, the Hanukkah novella, and I'm enjoying it so far. I think this is really cute. It's got a really cute premise, but before I even get into the premise of everything, this is definitely a book for people who like novellas. If you don't like a romance novella, like if you're like, ooh, it's too insta-lovey, or oh, it's too quick and not fleshed out enough, that's what you're gonna get with a 50-page novella. So like, if that's not your thing, this book isn't for you. However, I'm really enjoying it. So this follows our main character, Shira. She's supposed to meet up with her friend Karen. It's K-E-R-E-N, but I feel like it's pronounced Karen. She's supposed to meet up with her, and then Karen's like, Bird just shit on me. I gotta shower, so I don't have time to meet up. And so instead, Karen suggests that Shira use a dating app called Immediate Date or something like that. Karen has worked on this app or something. She's involved in it in some way. She's suggesting her friend test out the app that just launched. So Shira's like, whatever, what do I have to lose? Gets on the app, immediately matches with a guy named Aaron. Turns out Aaron is the CEO of the dating app. They meet up at a coffee shop called the Frisky Bean that has like raunchy menu items. Like the names are pretty raunchy and fun. And that's their first date, and sparks are gonna ignite from there. And they agree to go on another date. So we're following their story. And it's cute, and I'm enjoying it. It's been a minute. I have now finished Frisky Connections by Michelle Mars. Gonna settle on a 4-star. I tend to give novellas a lot of grace. I say there was like almost a third act breakup and I was like, how are you gonna do that in a novella? But then it worked itself out. Ending I hated. I'm easy to impress with a novella because I'm sitting here and I'm like, it doesn't have to be super fleshed out. I don't have to get to know the characters all that well. I don't need this super dynamic plot line. What I want from a novella, what makes a novella a 5-star one? from me. Are you able to keep me engaged? Are you able to make me like the characters in such a short amount of time? I don't need to know a ton about them, but am I able to like them? Can you convince me of their story? Make it, you know, entertaining throughout the whole process. And if you can do that, then it's a 5-star novella. And this did all of those things. I was interested about the characters. I thought they had a fun way of like getting to know each other. You got to know a little bit about her on the side. They had really fun banter, and you got to, you know, get to see them together a little bit and see them like grow over a few weeks. The ending, I just like, I can't get behind. I thought it was unnecessary. It felt a little too much, but it was really enjoyable and I had a great time reading it. Like, would I recommend this to everyone? No. But if you're looking for a fun, holiday themed, quick novella, cute little romance, there is one open door scene, this might be for you. And I did enjoy it, and I especially enjoyed it because I believe the author is self-published. There's a full book called Frisky Intentions, and after reading this author's writing, I think I would continue on to that. There were some cringy moments where like the author used the word like hot. She was like, it was hot, but not just hot, it was H-A-W-T hot. And I was like, I don't know if I can get behind that. I did start the audiobook for We Met in December. Here it is. I was doing some laundry and some house chores and I started it, and I'm 15% of the way in, and I can't remember the main character's name, but it follows this girl who has just moved to London. She got a publishing job. It actually pays less than her last job. Her dream has always been to work for a publishing house of sorts, to work in the publishing industry. And she used to live at home with her grandparents and help take care of them because her mom is not really in the picture. So she helped take care of her grandparents, and then her grandfather passes, so her grandmother's alone and kind of encourages her to pursue her publishing dream in London. And she's not far from her grandmother. She's only a short train ride away, and she was really helping take care of her grandfather. So once her grandfather passed, her grandmother, So once her grandfather passed, her grandmother didn't really need her there. And so she decides to pursue her dream, but London is super expensive. So she knows someone that's able to get her like a super cheap rate at this really nice house in London. She's able to rent a room, and she lives with a few people there. And one of them, I believe his name is Alex. And she meets him at this like housewarming get-together dinner party for her, where she's meeting everyone, and Alex walks in and she instantly has googly eyes for him, and that is kind of how this is all getting started. So she's just moved to London and is falling for one of her housemates. And I think it's gonna be cute. It's starting off pretty fun. The characters have a good dynamic. She's fun, she's enjoyable to like hear her side of things. And the way the chapters are structured, I think we'll get dual POV at some point, because it like, I feel like her name is Jess, but I could be wrong. But it, you know, we'll use Jess as our example. It'll be like chapter 3, Jess. And so like, you know, since it's telling you the name, that you'll get a different name later on, maybe. That's where I'm at. My camera keeps going out of focus, so it's telling me it's time for me to stop talking to you, I guess. Howdy, partners. What's good? It's nearly 5 o'clock and not much has really happened in terms of my reading. I'm now 70% of the way through We Met in December. I napped for like a good 2.5 hours. It was fantastic. That's what I've been finding, is it's just I'm really tired. But I do sound and feel a lot better. Like I've still got a little rasp to my voice, but other than that, like I'm like, huh, maybe I could get some main content in tonight, like not vlogs, you know. Felt like I should update you maybe a little bit on We Met in December. I'm 70% of the way through the book, like I said, and I just like the idea of DNFing. Sounds a little better. I think I want to finish so I can have like a solid, fully fleshed out opinion on the book. I'm hopeful that whatever I pick up next does a little bit more. I'm thinking of doing There's Something About Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist, because the second one is There's Something About Mary, and apparently there's a DILF in that. And I want to get some more Christmassy books in. I'm going to finish this really quick, then I'm going to start something else. I just wish that this was going better. So there's your update on this. So I finished we met in December, and I'm giving it 2 stars. This was not a romance. It wasn't good. When I go into a romance, I typically am looking for a way to believe that these characters work together. They may not be my ideal guy or my ideal girl or person. They may not be someone that I can connect with, either character to connect with. Whatever the situation, I don't need to have a personal attachment to them, but I need to believe that these two are a good fit together. And whereas I can see how they tried to do that in this book, it ultimately failed. I believe that they are great friends. I really just didn't get the romantic connection between the two characters because there wasn't really one, and the romance was basically non-existent. Jess spends most of the book pining after Alex. Alex spends most of the book either single or hooking up with Emma. Jess tries to convince herself that she doesn't need Alex and it's a lost cause, and we don't really get any sort of like reason why they like each other, or well, actually reason why Jess likes him other than like his appearance and that he's a nice guy. And then we don't really get anything from Alex of like why he's attracted to Jess or what, you know, he likes about her would constitute a good romance, and it just didn't work for me. So I'm sitting at a 2-star and I'm leaving it at that. This wasn't a romance. It definitely wasn't anything holiday related. So for the cover to look so holiday and for it to be kind of pitched that way, it failed miraculously on that front. So hopefully I'm gonna have a better shot with Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist. This is the next book I'll be reading. I have the ebook of it as well as the audiobook through Audible, and I'm going to bump those together, try and, you know, listen to the audio and physically read via the ebook at the same time, and hopefully breeze through this one. And then I'm gonna do probably There's Something About Mary next. So I'm looking forward to both of those. Hopefully these will give me more of the holiday vibes and the romantic vibes that I'm really looking for. Alright, so I'm a few chapters into Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist, so I can tell you what it's about now. It follows our main characters. Take a wild guess as to what their names are. Nick and Noel. You got it. And Nick has just gotten back from being stationed overseas. Noel helps him surprise his family. Nick and Noel have been best friends for basically ever. They've been best friends since childhood. And so Nick has just come home and visited his family. He meets up with his girlfriend that he's had for a while and finds out that she was basically cheating on him while he was overseas. So now, dealing with this breakup, he is taking solace in the fact that he's spending time with his family and his childhood best friend, I believe like on a Christmas tree farm, while he is back in town. And there's gonna be some sort of chemistry that ignites between Nick and Noel despite their long-term friendship. I guess absence makes the heart grow fonder. We'll see, but that's where we're at. I'm barely into it. Like I said, I'm just a few chapters, but I'm gonna eat some dinner and hopefully make some good progress in this tonight. Would love to finish this tonight, but that would mean I'd be up until like 11 just non-stop reading, and I don't think that's gonna happen, so it's probably gonna be something I finish tomorrow. I think I can make some good progress tonight, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have some soup for dinner because it's cold and that sounds delicious. Good afternoon, friends. I am once again showered and ready to party. And what is my hair doing? Oh, if you can't tell, feeling a lot better, sounding a lot better, all good things here. My family friend brought me lunch today, which I've been craving. She also brought me ice cream, so I get to partake in that as well. It's gonna be delicious. But I have a reading update. I finished Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist, and I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this story. I stayed up fairly late reading it last night, and I thought the characters were great. I love friends to lovers, so that's a trope I enjoy, so it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, like I said, this may not be the book for you, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing that really took it from like a 5 to a 4, like it could have been a 5, but some of the arguments that were had between the main characters and also between like the main characters and the side characters, all the arguments felt a little catty and immature for how old these characters are supposed to be. And don't get me wrong, I totally believe that in life there's immaturity, and not every single person is going to be like the most mature example of a late 20, early 30-year-old. Like, I get it. But sometimes I expect a little more emotional maturity from some of these characters, and that's just not what I got in some of these situations. So like, that took my enjoyment out of it a little bit. It was just like, I can think of like 2 really big arguments or fights that happened in this book that I'm like, that's not something a 25-year-old would do. That's something a 16-year-old would do. If this was in a YA book, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, checks out. They're emotionally immature because they're emotionally immature. It just didn't really fit how the characters acted in the rest of the book. But yeah, it just felt like we had really solid emotional maturity in some aspects, and then it just fell apart in other scenes, and it felt like our characters were a little inconsistent. But 4 stars, I mean, I consider that a win. I'm going to read There's Something About Mary next, which is the 2nd book in this series. I think there's a 3rd one about a character named Holly. I just don't know that I'm gonna get to that. Hey besties, how's it going? I'm about to curl my hair. We're gonna chat as I do that because I am about to film my best and worst books of the year. I'm gonna do a little experiment with filming these. So with my best books of the year, I really wanted to be able to give like really solid synopses and like give fleshed out reasons as to why I liked them. I'm using a Remington 1-inch barrel, not that you care, but I'm telling you anyways. And so for that reason, I tried out scripting a video for the first time. Never done that before, clearly, because I said it was my first time. And we're gonna see how that goes. I didn't script out my worst books of the year. Obviously, I remember pretty much why I hated those. I was trying to catch that curl and I didn't. But I pretty much remember why I hated those. Honestly, people just go to the worst books of the year for like the vibes, you know? That's what we're gonna do there. I'm just gonna give you vibes for the worst books, but I'm gonna try out, you know, with this scripted best books video of the year. That made no sense. Best books of the year video, and see how the filming experience is for me between the 2, because I just feel like I will have a better time filming a book that, what am I saying? Filming a video that I have scripted, because that way I know what to say about all of the books, and like I don't have to think on the spot about like what was the synopsis, what are the characters' names. I don't have to look it up on Goodreads. I've already got all that information ready for me. Hopefully that'll also cut down on some of the editing time, because I swear so much of the editing time is me spent like cutting out ums and me looking stuff up and figuring things out. And if I have all that in front of me, like there's not going to be a need for an or a pause. It's just going to be like me checking the script, remembering what I'm supposed to say, saying it to the camera. So like I'll have things to edit out, but the breaks will be more clear and concise. It doesn't really matter to you. It matters to me. Check them out. Let me know what you think in comparison. That'd be cool. I started There's Something About Mary. This follows our main character, Mary, shockingly, who is the brother, or, oh my god, I can't talk today. Mary is Nick's sister from the first book. And she is at a place in life where she is ready to settle down, but they live in a town called Mistletoe, I believe it's Idaho. And no one in this town is really fitting the bill for her. No one is really living up to her expectations or what she wants in a partner. Then we have a guy come around who, remember what I just said, I can't remember the names of any characters? That's what's happening right now. It starts with a C. And I want to say Colton, because that's from the book that I was just scripting. Clark. So Clark comes to town. He is a dad. He's a single dad. And we get a little bit of his backstory at the beginning. But he is working as the foreman of the Christmas tree farm that I believe is operated by Mary's family. We got a little bit of the Christmas tree farm in the first book, but we're getting a little bit more of it here in this second book. Clark is determined to not be in a relationship, but then his kid asks like something along the lines of, why don't you date girls, or something like that. And he realizes that maybe he does want to like have a relationship or like a casual thing. Like, I don't know what he's really going into this with, but he downloads a dating app and gets matched up with a blind date. Shockingly, that blind date is Mary. That's where I'm at. I think this book is going to be fun because it's going to explore like some dynamics of a dad dating again and getting back out on the scene. I feel like I rarely see single dads in books, so it's nice to have, you know, a different take on, I guess, parenthood in a romance book, because we see single moms a lot. We don't see single dads. But I will say Love, List, and Fancy Ships by Sarah Grunder Burris. Luck, Lust, and Last Resorts, I believe, is the second book. That one there does have a single dad in it. I loved that book. I like so thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that maybe this is like a plot, like a, not a plot point, but maybe like a character trait that I do enjoy in a book and I just haven't explored it enough. So I'm excited to explore it with this one. I'm gonna keep curling my hair. Look how much shorter it got. And I'm gonna listen to my audiobook and I'll be updated probably once I've made more progress. I might get another update tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Why am I still buckled? That's the real question. Hello friends. So this concludes the reading vlog. This is my last update. I did finish There's Something About Mary and I'm giving it 4 stars. It was enjoyable. The characters worked really well together and the moments of like tension or angst were actually really well done. Again, we had the same thing that I felt like with Nick and Noel, where I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's like really true to something like a single dad would do and like a grown woman. It's just like sometimes adult characters in romance novels lack some emotional maturity, and that is kind of how I felt about this one. But it wasn't as bad as Nick and Noel, I don't think, and it didn't take it away as much, and I like appreciated the Christmassy vibes in this one because it's more about the Christmas tree farm and they're putting on an event together, and I just had a really good time reading it, and that's all I can really ask for. So yeah, like I said, that concludes the reading vlog. I had a blast reading all of these Christmassy books. I am going to be posting a tier ranking all of the holiday books that I read, or the wintry books that I read this year, because I will be including just some like general winter books and even some Hanukkah ones. So I want it to be like an overarching like wintertime holiday-ish books tier ranking. But I am gonna post that and like film and do all that. I'm gonna film it today, so I should have it posted around the same time this vlog goes up, but who knows? I have so many videos to film and edit that I just don't know. The end of the year is always like a crazy time for filming and editing and everything like that, because you're trying to get like your best books and your most anticipated and your wrap-ups and your reading challenges and all of these things done, that it's a very interesting time to be vlogging and reading and working. So yeah, like I said, that concludes the reading vlog. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This has been a blast. And I will catch you all in the next one. Happy reading!